So hello guys and welcome to short video about the Guilty Gear Pride patch. So it will be like 1.5 hours from now, but I just want to make a short video regarding the changes. So I will just discuss it very shortly and give my opinion. And I created a list to to express my opinion, and these are only short. I'll make it super short and simple so you'll understand why I tiered like this. Again, this is based on my opinion, and the opinion of other people might be different from what I'm stating, but nevertheless, let's go with the tier list. So again, my tier list is quite simple. I made it simple for you guys so you can understand what these tiers are. So MVP, these are the winners or the grand winners. Then we have the winners, which has a good buffs, then losers, and the fourth tier, which means good on paper but unsure, because if you try to read it, they're quite it's like they sound good or maybe sound bad, but the application might be different, and we are not sure whether how is this applied, not unless we test these characters. So I'm just keeping them in that particular list for the meantime, but we'll discuss quickly what were the changes to them. So one of our winners, MVPs, is Anginito. So what happened to him? So remember, Fujin cannot be, the Fujin follow-ups cannot be done not unless the Fujin hits. So right now, one of his major change is to do a follow-up even if the Fujin whips. So if you remember, or if you have played Guilty Gear Accent Core, Angie can do Rin can do his follow-ups even if the Fujin does not connect or doesn't hit the opponent. So this will play a vital role with Angie, because he can just, maybe he can do some Kara cancel, like he can cancel the Fujin right away into Rin without connecting, or because there's this one note that the translation, I'm not sure if this is correct, but as long as once the Fujin is active, you can try to cancel the follow-up move right away. So this is maybe not as close as to Angie Accent Core, because you still don't have the buffs for the butterfly, but being able to do Fujin follow-ups even if whips, this will play a crucial role in Anginito's gameplay. And this is that's why Fujin was one of Anginito's best move in the entire Guilty Gear series. So it can hit like a truck, because let's say the Fujin doesn't hit, but if you got caught by the Rin on counter hit, and you know Angie's damage is above average, so this will deal a lot of damage to you. Next is Ino. So Ino's changes are pretty much adjustments to her Okizeme and mix-up move. So there's a lot of buffs discussed to her priorities, so that air dashes and air hovering. But the gist of it is her mix-up game and Oki game is strengthened. So all of the inconsistencies between the dashes, the air dash, the landing, and the stroke tree, and her other moves, it became consistent, and they decreased the knockback on the hits pertaining to her Oki gameplay. So this means that when enemy knocks down or when enemy gets knocked down, the distance between Ino and the character will be shortened. So once the note is being released, her projectile is being released, it will catch the opponent right away. So that's Ino's buff in a nutshell. Then Potemkin, they didn't buff this character. Okay, they didn't buff this character. I mean, they didn't nerf this character, but they give him some ridiculous stuff like Hit Knuckle can extend the risk gauge on block. So you know, risk gauge is a tool in Guilty Gear 1. So it acts like a double-edged sword. When you try to block more, this risk gauge gets increased, and when it's increased, then you got hit, it will act as a multiplier. It will impact or amplify damage for that move. So risk gauge give, hit knuckle can really catch opponents in the air, and using this as a pressure tool will change Potemkin's game. And one other buff was his 6K, which is a moving like shoulder dash, so decrease recovery, so it's more faster now, because before it's slower, so there's like couple of frames he needs to to be active before the move stops, so it can be punished. But now it's more shorter, so it may be possible for combo opportunities, or maybe for setups, and making the pressure to that opponent, especially in the corner. So maybe possible mix up for or set play for Blockbuster. Our next set is the winners. So I just mentioned 3, and I'll explain why. May, okay. The reason why I put her on the winners list, because her favorite move, Totsugeki, didn't got nerfed. So it still remains the same. However, they decreased the hitbox, or the hitbox for the crouching S, or crouching slash, which is one of her pressure tools, which is annoying, because once you get caught with it, it will be either counter hit, or it can be followed with Totsugeki. Now they have decreased the properties of the hitbox of this move, so the opponent cannot like spam this move right now based on what the paper saying. So we can, let's say, there will be a chance that this move will not hit as far, or maybe as longer as before. I'm not sure how the hitbox will change, because before it was disjointed. So if they have reduced the hitbox for this one, so there will be a new frame data for this one, and we'll see whether there's still a disjointed hitboxes. Hopefully they will remove that. However, so one thing that I said that May is a winner is because the Totsugeki didn't get nerfed, and her overhead kiss. So remember, overhead kiss can be followed up only on corner. In this case, it's quite different now, because she can do combos in mid-screen while upon overhead kiss around the mid-screen. So do you know how May amplifies her damage during her combos? Quite chunky. I mean, it's like humongous damage. But I think they toned down, they nerfed the damage for the overhead kiss, but the exchange for that one is May will have her advantage on using overhead kiss on mid-screen, possible combo opportunities, like maybe she can she just need few hits in order to capitalize that big damage. So that's a big thing for her. So that's why I'm categorizing May as one of the winners. So too bad that Totsugeki didn't get nerfed. However, we need to embrace this May now, which will be, I think, one of the problems here in this game. He will be still in the top tier. Next one is Axel. The reason that I put Axel here is because of his One Vision. So what they did on One Vision is the startup can be done on combos, and after that it can be successfully continue the combo, then for possible time stop or upon activation of the One Vision. So I like this buff for Axel, because normally if you see people use One Vision, this is just to scare the opponent away, but practically it's like, instead of using One Vision, you will just try to use the meter for RC and for anything instead for using One Vision. Now with this buff or this change, I think Axel can now be more spontaneous, like he can really use One Vision to his fullest. And of course, okay, next is Zato. So actually Zato has only a couple of changes, like 1 or 2. But the reason why I'm putting up him here is because of Eddie. So what they did is to reduce the recovery time, reduce the recall time for Eddie. So Zato relies on Eddie, and we know that. And there's a couple of mixes that a Zato player does in order to to move Eddie or to utilize Eddie to his potential. By decreasing the recovery time or the recall time, this will be a problem because once a Zato is being recalled, you know that meter, he can really gain that meter fast. And now, like, now you have that possibility of spamming Eddie while recovering his meter fast. So it's like one attack, spam, one attack recall, recall, then do some cover in attack, then spam Eddie again, then recall. So this is my theory that Eddie will be, Zato will be as powerful or maybe will be more capable or efficient with his moves because now he has a longer opportunity or duration as long as he knows how to mix Eddie or to play with Eddie. But this buff, maybe it's just plain and simple, like decrease recall time for Eddie, but it impacts this will impact a lot for Zato players because once Eddie's the meter, like they need to wait for meter, and some players try to recall Eddie midway. So if Eddie cannot really penetrate through the defense, they will just recall it. So by being able to decrease the recall time, they can continuously spam Eddie and they can fill that Eddie gauge faster with right mix ins like cover in moves. Eddie will do his attack, then Zato can just recall him, then do some cover in attack. So that's why I'm saying that Zato is one of the winners in this patch. We'll just discuss with the losers. So Chip, just plain and simple, the mixer and his crouching, the 2K, air 2K, jump 2K, they have decreased the properties of that one. So it will not be as effective as before, like people doing the blender stuff, just jumping in 2K, jump in 2K. So that will not be possible anymore. So that's one of Chip's favorite tool to use, but he has still Alpha Blade, so I think this might not really affect him, or maybe the approach for jump 2K will be different now, but jump 2K is super powerful back then. You see a lot of pro players or people trying to spam this, and you'll be in that deadlock situation where you cannot really anticipate where Chip is going. Then mix in some Alpha Blades and stuff. So again, for Chip, the 2K, jump 2K was really decreased. The properties being decreased now, so it's not as effective as before. Then we move to Sol. What happened to Sol is one of his most powerful normals, which is 4S. So they have decreased it. So I think the hitbox will be changed. So it will not be that disjointed. However, that's why I put him the losers, because that far slash is so annoying. Because once it catches you, it's counter hit right away and you don't have anything to do. But however, even though they have nerfed that one, they made some changes on him. Okay? So, Wild Throw can now be RC'd. So this will be a robot. RC has already have Wild Throw has already have an inside damage. And once Wild Throw can now be RC'd, so this might open new combo opportunity. So I don't know. I can really expect how much the damage will be. So I just put him in the losers. It's because as far as is gone, but now we are facing another problem, which is the Wild Throw, because this now to be RC. Then aside from that one, they made the Fafnir consistent and they shortened the knockback on 5K. So they're saying that the 5K can now be connected with the sweep. So again, the reason why I'm putting Sol in the losers category is because of Far S. The Far S is nerfed, and thank God. But again, we're facing a new problem, which is the Wild Throw now can be RC. Oh, I forgot that Sol's Volcanic Viper and Slash it's now punishable. So they made it they increased the recovery time for it, so they cannot really spam it now. Cannot really spam safely the volcanic viper slash. So now stall players will think twice to to unleash that volcanic viper, because they can be punished now. The punish window times now being extended, so it's not safe anymore like before. Even though Sol uses his volcanic viper slash, it can still be safe, so that's quite insane. Now they try to increase that, so that's why also Sol is one of the losers, but we're changing a new dilemma for Sol, which is the one. Then for Ramital, just plain and simple, her jump HS this jump HS is causing a lot of pain or a lot of trouble if you are dealing with Ramital, because that disjointed hitbox. How I wish the 5S was changed, but what they did is just the jump. I think this is already okay, because jump HS has a weird disjointed hitbox down, so you cannot really anticipate. Like maybe it's so hard to counteract with that, because Ram's hitbox was so far away from the disjointed hitbox, so once she dishes out the jump HS, it's always safe on her. So I think this is a good nerf for Ram, but the 5S is still the 5S trick is, or the 5S one trick pony show is still there. So she's still dangerous, but I like that they changed the 5 jump HS. They tried to nerf that one. So technically that's only for Ram. So for Kai, they have changed the properties of his kicks, or his stun deeper, and the dragon install. But then again, I'm not sure whether these changes will be okay for him on in application wise or in game. That needs to be tested further. But again, dragon install for stun deeper, and most of his kicks, especially on those situations where he uses 5k or 6k for his pressure tool. So that's the only change for Kai. Then Milia, for Milia, I think consistency on 5HS combos, because they tried to change the properties of her 5HS, which is the 2 hair spin, which is mostly used on her combos. So they make it more consistent that the hits will connect, because sometimes this does not connect, especially on situations where the opponent is being juggled during a combo and you will use a 6HS or 5HS. So sometimes this hits, and sometimes the second hit did not hit. So I think that's what they made to her. Then what else? I think they increased the recovery for her. They made the tandem top slash version faster. So most likely that's only, and I think they tried to fix that bug on the her car, her Iron Savior, where sometimes when it clashes with a particular move, Milia will still continue forward. So normally when Milia hits something with her hair or her car, she will reposition her and try to recover. But sometimes when in certain situations, especially on Clash, when her car hits, even though the opponent has already recovered from the clash, she will still continue to drip forward. So I do like that they have changed that one, because it's causing problems, especially when you're fighting those heavyweights or those damage monsters like Solnay, Potemkin. It's like you're throwing yourself to the pit, and you're not sure whether you still be alive or not. Then for Leo, they changed something on his back turned state, especially on the 5k. So in papers like recovery, something like that, change on properties and other stuff. But application wise, I'm not sure. They allow you to use the dash macro for for his dashes when backturn, because I think it's not possible because I haven't played Nero that much. So before it's like they can only use for up forward or tap back, but now you can use the dash macro. This will make him easier. This will make his mix-ups more easier. So again, this is only on paper, but again, application or practicality of the move, I'm not sure. Maybe once the people play Leo on the new patch, then we'll see what Leo can bring on the table. Then Nagoryuki, I think most of his changes I think they made his 6P more faster, and they made some changes on Waseryuki. So I think they tried to make the follow-up hit more consistent depending on the angle where the opponent is hit. And on that last hit of his 3-chain Rekka or his slash combo, the final one will increase or will gain more blood gauge. So I'm not sure how much this increase will be, because the third hit, usually this is, or the 3-string slash, usually this is used on Nagoryuki's combo, especially on pressure points and some of his RC combos. So I'm not sure how much this increase in blood gauge will be. So this might force a Nagoryuki to either pop that the blood gauge, or maybe just to hold in that last hit and use a different move instead. Then for Goldyui's properties on his dust, Skyfish, I think Skyfish was his most web change. Skyfish was a priority for the Skyfish change. So I think the damage scaling is now, maybe they have increased the damage of the Skyfish depending on the security level you have. So the more security level you have, then you gun in that Skyfish, and because the damage of Skyfish is not that good. I mean, not that much. So it's like Skyfish is only used for cheap purposes, to be honest, on practical situations. But as for hits, I mean, this is not a heavy hitter. So right now we're seeing a buff here, but again, not sure, because it looks good on paper, but I mean, practical application, we still need to check how much that damage increase will be. Giovanna, I think they changed the properties of 6P. I think that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I think Giovanna is already good. Okay, so I think they should not change anything for Giovanna. So maybe that's increase 6P. I think most of these characters are having that invincibility, or they change the invincibility frames for the 6P. So yeah, Giovanna's one. Then for Faust, mostly changing properties to make his moves safer, or they decrease the recovery. So and as for Faust, changes in properties of his moves, slash, crouching high slash, and other stuff. So they made him more consistent with the recoveries. So again, not sure how these moves are safe, not unless you put practical application, but that's the changes for Puffs. And again, that's it for the tier list. So I just tried to discuss this briefly as possible. I hope you have enjoyed it. So if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So again, this is Dino from Dino Arcade, and I'll see you to the next video. So have a good one, take care, stay safe, and cheers.